Kylee was so committed to the idea of an engagement, like really, really, really wanted an engagement. And Aven was just not ready for that. And they went back and forth for many a conversation before they finally just decided to leave together, not engaged. And boy, did they both look miserable in that car leaving the beach.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they break up in that car ride.
Right.
Yeah. Well, allegedly, they're still together.
A few things about that. One, I think that Aven was overly mad about how Kylee was wanting to get engaged. Number two, I think that Kylee was, like, all of a sudden, like, he was right. She really didn't mention, like, how important it was.
Yeah.
And it kind of just felt like a thing she was holding over his head the whole time. Like, it felt like an ultimatum.
Right.
And I'm kind of glad that he, like, stuck to what he believed in, because I think that she was starting to, she got other people's thoughts in her own head, being like, you always compromise, on things that you want. Like, don't compromise on this one. It's like, I think that you can maybe take a second thought about getting, like, engaged on a reality show.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's okay to, like, second guess that.
Kylee, I think you're right. Like, on one hand, he got really mad really quickly about it. And
it was, like, a little much.
When she started crying initially and he walks away and he's like, I'm going to bed. That is the most immature type of man who, like, can't, like, interact with a girl who's upset, like, has to be like, I'm going to bed. Like, I don't know, ask her if she's okay.
Like, I don't want to talk to her when she's like this.
Right. Like, okay, grow up. Like,
get to a solution, or at least
you don't even have to get through a solution. Just make sure she's okay. Like, ask her if she's okay.
A plateau. Get to a plateau that's
don't have to come to a solution in that moment.
Angry.
But so immature to be like, I gotta go to bed.
This broad's crying.
Right, like, look at this chick crying over me. Like, okay, so immature. I hate that.
Tears, toots,
I hate that. Yeah.
Fully putting that on Aven.
Right.
Fully putting that on
Aven
Aven.
said that. That's the next quote from Aven.
But she then started acting wild in the next upcoming days. Like,
when she said the wedding was happening, right? She said, it's just going to be really hard to sit through this wedding when it's something I want so badly. I'm like, what?
I'm like, do you want to marry him that bad, or do you just want the idea of the engagement? Because
100%.
she kept saying, I know it's you. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you know it's him, because honestly, if you know, right, like, you're like, I know it's him, but you're also like, you don't want to date him after the show without an engagement.
Crazy.
Do you know it's him? Because I think what he was basically saying was like, we can get there. Like, I see a future with you. I 100% still want to be with you. Like, he wasn't like, let's feel it. He was like, I 100% want to be with you. So I feel like if she really felt like this is my person, okay, let's leave and well, you know what I mean? Like, she would. I don't know if you would give up on your person that quickly for an ultimatum.
He
asked that question. Remember, he asked it, which I thought was a completely valid question to ask. He was like, if I said no, I don't want to engage, like, flat out, whatever, like, would you date me outside of here? Yes or no? Like, because that, I think, is the deciding factor.
Yeah.
Like, are you looking only for an engagement, or are you looking to have a relationship with me? Because if this is the ultimatum you're giving, and she kept, she
ultimatum
kept
for a couple weeks on a beach on a
right,
reality show,
kept saying,
not in real life where they've been together for years.
Then what's the big deal? She basically was saying, like, what's the big deal? Like, you can propose to me if you're serious. Like, and I don't think that's fair to put on someone.
If the answer to that is no, how is that a couple that is close to getting engaged?
No.
It makes no sense.
Right, exactly. Because it's not a real life situation where they have been together for years and she's like, I know you're my person, and he's like, I don't know. Then maybe you would have to reconsider your situation. But this situation is like, he's very much like, I want to date, I want to be with you, let's figure it out.
Completely.
And it's not the right way to look at it. Like, if you say, if they were dating in the real world and they've been dating for 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Would an engagement be realistic?
Yeah.
The answer is she would be like, no.
Yeah, right.
But just because you're in this situation, that makes it okay?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
understand that.
I know. I think she was very hyper fixated on the engagement.
Way too fixated.
I mean, I think outside opportunities, or maybe you're just really like, you just want to be one of the, I think you can really latch on to, like, this is only a success if I'm engaged, and it doesn't have to be. Of course, Aven had the real approach to it, real life approach to it. Like, I really like you, but, like, let's leave and talk about it.
Worked out for Dean and Kaylin.
It sure did.
Yeah.
It sure
works
did.
out for a lot of people.
It works out for a lot of people.
It's also the most normal thing you can do. Like,
Totally.
it's
Oh my God,
arguably a better a better ending than
Yeah.
just saying yes to an engagement. Which so can we get the fuck into that?
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for
But
more
it's-
success.
and it's-
to
Kat and John Henry.
And it's also
What
not
the
unprecedented. Like she's acting like everyone who comes on the show gets engaged at the end. If not, you got to go your separate ways and you can't talk again.
Right,
People
right,
walk
right.
away like Dean and Kaylin.
Yeah.
People just walk away and it works out totally fine.
it's
Yeah,
fine,
no,
right.
Noah and Abigail.
yeah.
Honestly,
Yep,
and
another good
also,
one.
You know,
arguably, they end up longer, better relationships. I feel like the people that do get engaged quickly break up because it's like all
Yeah.
this pressure. They got to move in, meet the parents, do whatever.
And Aven,
They haven't even met each other's parents
Right.
or families
Right.
or anything.
Right.
no, and I get it. It's like it does work for some couples,
And it is
of
the
course.
concept of the show.
It's the concept of the
Right.
show.
Can't shit on it.
But things have
But
changed
only if
with
it
the show.
if it actually works and feels good, and they're both like equally insane and equally
because
willing
I
to
think
do this.
Kylee
You know what
got
I mean?
too caught up in like. I think it was very telling when Kylee said to him, you were in the headspace ready to propose
God, that
with
was crazy.
Rachel. Like, why aren't you now? I think maybe she got caught up in
So
the
nuts.
compare game.
Yes.
And was like, oh my, like, why won't he propose to me? Maybe he doesn't like he was ready to propose to Rachel, but also like Aven claimed to be ready to propose to Rachel,
That was
but it's
like-
not like he actually proposed to Rachel. They broke up.
I'm only just now realizing we did a sketch for Out of Order the other day, and that was one of the jokes. Like the joke was that I was pissed that my ex-boyfriend's ex-girlfriend got engaged, and I was like, "You didn't tell me you were ready to get engaged." Like, and
Yeah.
it was like,
That's
"What are
so
you talking
funny.
about?" He's like, "Well, she was clearly ready to say yes, so what the fuck?" Like, it was a joke
Yes,
about
yeah.
how absurd it was.
Yeah.
And I'm now realizing this is the same.
Kylie
thing.
does get
and that's
caught-
fucking
Right? That
insane.
was like, I think she was definitely really in her head about that.
She also she is big on the compare game. She's looking at the other couples on the beach, like,
yep.
oh, look at
Yes.
Eliza and Aaron, and look at
Yep.
these. It's just like, just
Look
focus on
at Kenny
yourself.
and Mari
Right.
getting married.
getting
Right.
married. Right? She
And-
was like
and-
jealous of them getting
Yeah.
married. I was like, oh.
By the way, most
Which we
predictable.
called that.
I mean, we knew.
Yeah,
I
we called
just
that.
that was like obviously the wedding
Yeah.
that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Made a lot of sense.
They seemed a little
And-
robotic.
Yeah, I think because they probably they're like in their heads like we have our real wedding coming up. Like,
Yeah, right.
Right, this isn't the real
This
wedding.
is not our real wedding.
Yeah.
For Kylie, like, is it even a success if she has to beg Aven to propose? Like,
No.
even
No,
if,
I
That's
know.
embarrassing.
If
Yeah, I
she
think
was
that's
like,
embarrassing.
she was like, I just hope he wakes up a changed man tomorrow morning, wants to propose. Like,
Yeah.
we all saw
No.
the footage before this, so
Right.
nobody's gonna buy into the engagement at the end of this if he goes through with
No.
it. So they left together, but in the car home, he was like, I'm gonna like show, and she just goes, I hope so. Like as if he killed somebody. I was
Yeah.
like, he didn't really do. he
Also,
didn't
it's
really
like
do
there wasn't.
anything
It's not like he was
wrong
taking
to
her
you.
away from like time on the beach or something. They're at
No,
the end.
they
It's
are
the
at the
last
end.
day. It's the
Yeah.
end.
She
You either
did-
you go
The whole
home
way.
or you go home.
Right. There is there's nothing else.
She did briefly mention, and it went by quick, but she was like, I spent all this time with Aven and I didn't get much time to explore. That was like a very quick part of it. It was kind of
Oh,
when
I
the,
missed that.
It was kind of when the Blake stuff was happening. When Blake was showing
Yeah,
up for the
yeah,
wedding,
yeah.
she was sort of mentioning, and I don't know when she said it, but like she was kind of like,
Didn't someone else say
I
something
didn't get
about
much
her
time
and
to
Blake?
explore on the beach.
Right,
Who
she-
else said
and
that
she
about her
keeps
and Blake though?
saying
Remember that? Remember someone
that
else
he's
was
her
like,
person.
I know.
Yeah.
So how are you
So
going to say
weird.
you didn't explore? If you know that he's your person,
Right.
why would you even bring up the fact, man, I didn't even explore?
I'm pretty sure she said that. I could be misremembering.
Right, and I think she was like, her comments too. Like from the beginning, he was never gonna propose at the end.
I
Like,
thought they were for
I
sure
don't know.
breaking up.
mean,
Like I
thought
didn't think
I
that
know.
they were
I
even
thought
gonna
maybe
leave
like
together.
that Rachel comment. She like thought Aven was so ready to propose.
Yeah, maybe.
And like that threw her off.
Maybe.
But I don't know.